Hello, everybody. I put my colorful shirt on because it's going to be a colorful day. Okay, I know that was bad, but I'm so excited about today. I want to go first to say Mark has helped me every step of the way get this ready. It was a lot to prepare, and he was wonderful. So thank you, Mark, for helping me do all this. All right, let's see who is here. I'm so excited. Our Susan probably won't be here because they had some straight line winds that did a lot of damage to the garden, and she's having to quickly freeze and can things so that they don't go to waste. So sorry, I'm so sorry for Susan. All right, let's see. Oh, Marcia, first person here. That's wonderful. Hi, Melissa Lamb. So glad to see you back. I hope, Melissa, that you have either requested to join our groups IO or that I already sent you an invitation, because we've definitely seen you a few times. And there's Lisa. Good to see you, Lisa. I thought about you when I showed your artwork the other day. So, Laura. Hi, Laura. And, oh, I know, isn't this nice? We have friends all over the world now, don't we? So, hello. And Hetty is here. Hi, sweetie. We've missed you. Okay, Polly's here. Sonia. And then Linda McCollum, if you would please be our moderator today, since our Susan can't be with us. And I'm sorry if any of you were on our sit and stitch yesterday. I meant to get there, but it was a week, let me tell you. But Michelle is here. Oh, thank you, Linda. I went Friday to get my stitch out of my eye. It was so easy peasy, and my vision is sharp as can be. I'm thrilled. So got that done. Now I'm done with that. I just have to use the little antibiotic drops a couple days until she wanted to make sure that the stitch holes, heal up good. But it feels good. It works good. I'm thrilled. My hearing is still blocked up, but anyway. But last week, my little Maisie had problem with her little anal glands. One of them ruptured, and so it was a mess of a week. Everything just kind of got, whirlwind. So I'm looking forward to hopefully things settling down a little bit. But, oh, thank you. Oh, I'm sorry about the load sharing. I'm sorry about that. I hope that gets resolved soon. So, we worry about other parts of the world, especially if they're having some strife. Afghanistan, our hearts are with them. What a mess. I mean, just what a mess. But I read this morning that there were so many payoffs that happened. The Taliban has been planning this. So it is a mess. So anyway, I did make, okay, remember how I've been enjoying making the Dorset buttons? And then I got the big rings. Here is the big rings. And I think it's supposed to be 1.5 inches, but it looks more like 2 inches. Let me see. No, it's 1.5 inches, but by the time I add all the beads, it looks bigger. But this is an interesting one. And it's a little boho or a little steampunk, but I thought I had these beads that I knew I would never make into something. So I went, okay, that's pretty cool. So I'll be making this into a pin, or it can be hanging on a necklace as a pendant. But it's my first great big one that I did, and I'm right tickled with it. All right, now I'm hoping our Jeannie is going to be here today. But this past week I was so busy. I woke up one morning at 4:30 with having a anxiety kind of thing. I couldn't get back to sleep for an hour. And then I realized I've got to slow down. I've gotten myself, you're going along and you think you're managing, and then the dog gets sick and it throws you over the edge. But I got a beautiful, look at this. Is that going to make beautiful beads or what? Look at that. But I got this beautiful thank you card. And I got it from Miss Jeannie. And how absolutely, isn't it a lovely card? I wonder if she makes these herself. They're just beautiful. So thank you, Miss Jeannie. It's so funny how things like that happen, that just when I'm like, feeling overwhelmed, something like that will come in, just a little note. So I want to personally thank her. I will treasure that. And I'm going to turn it into beads so I can keep it as a scissor fob and keep those good thoughts around me all the time. Then, Christmas tree ornaments. Now, Miss Linda McCullum, what a great idea. I could make some that look like snowflakes. What a good idea. Thank you. And then I wanted to show you, I got this fabric when I got in my medium weight fusible interfacing at an incredible price of $159, and it's Pellon medium weight fusible interfacing, which I use for anytime I do thread painting, or I use for my landscape quilts, anything you have to do collage, applique. So that was great. I ordered this, but I have to tell you, it's not as bright in person. I'm a little disappointed, but I'm still going to use it. But just sometimes be aware. And I don't know, I couldn't find a manufacturer's name on this. So it might be one of these in-house printing jobs. I mean, it's a nice heavyweight cotton, but the colors just aren't quite as bright as the picture made it look. So sometimes I get good things, sometimes, Luckily, I didn't pay full price, but I will use it for things like journals and covers for something. Like if I'm thinking of teaching y'all a standing notion or a sewing tool holder, and maybe I'll use this for the fabric because it's nice and sturdy, very heavy. All right, let me see. You see my Ricky Tim's. I was hoping to have time to work on the border. I worked on it a little bit, never got back to it. So I will try. And there's Charlotte's dress is coming along. And I don't know if you can see, but yesterday I put in the side seam pockets. Let me see if I can get it a little closer. I put in the side seam pockets. And then I realized, it had to have lace on the side panels. So I had to take out both side seams, take the pocket out. I left it sewn together, but I took each pocket out, then put the lace on, then sewed the side seam back on, and including the pockets. But you know what? I wanted to do it right. That was too important. Well, look who it is. It's Edwinese. Hi, hon. So it was gratifying to do it. And I did when I was using the seam ripper. I'm very impatient. I did do a little kind of cut of the fabric, and it was partially outside the seam allowance. But luckily the lace covers it, so I did a good zigzag. I used my fray check, put the lace over it, calling it good. So anyway, all right, so I got that done. I'm not quite finished with the dress. I've got to figure out how to do the offset closure. And we think we're going to use a zipper for 2/3 of it and then have it fully closed, the bottom part. But I was looking for fabric because we're going to have a marbling tutorial today. So I was looking for fabric, and I ended up finding something when I was looking for the fabric. Do you see this ultra sheer fabric? So I washed it, and guess what? Hi, Linda Ramos. Hey, Cheryl Lemon. Hi, beautiful. It's so good to see you again. We've missed you, darling. But I found this sheer. And you know how Thursday night I was having trouble trying to get the sun rays? And I am so thankful. Two people, the first one I noticed, because I try to go back and watch them later so I can read all of your comments. And Kathleen Ziegler said I had them too narrow and too rigidly spaced, too evenly spaced. She was exactly right. So I sent her a little email and said, thank you for that. And that's one of the reasons that I love getting your opinion on things, your ideas on things. So that's wonderful. And so now I'm going to try using the sheer fabric, which I'm hoping will give the look without it being too intense. You painted tulle a yellow. Oh, I love it. I love it, Polly. I think that is going to be your best bet. And so anyway, now I can't wait to use that fine sheer because I was just having a problem getting it to look right. So now I've got another tool to try to use, and I'm looking forward to that. So, okay, let me see. What else? You know that for the Misty Woodlands, I have a free quilt pattern, and I also have a free quilt pattern for our Crumb block. And if you think that you would like the free patterns that you might want to work with us, just send me an email at ourtimetoquilt@twc.com. And or if like Melissa Lamb would like to join our chat group, send me an email and tell me at ourtimetoquilt@twc.com. I just wrote it down, and hopefully I didn't have my glasses on, so hopefully I typed it correctly. Oh, all right. Oh, did we? He passed away. I'm sorry, Miss Cheryl. We knew he was, but you know what? Knowing he is and then actually lose him has got to be tough. You've been in our hearts, Cheryl. You have been in our hearts. So, we're thinking of you, sweetie. That's a hard thing. It doesn't matter what age you are. It doesn't matter how independent you are. When you lose a parent like that, it is tough, and especially if you've been taking care of them. And you know what? Our special angels are people who take care of the sick and weak ones in their families. So, wow. All right. I want to remind you that we're going to have a pincushion contest. And from what I hear, Marcia has been working on one, and with some, I don't know, should I tell them, Marcia? But Cafe Facet Fabric, woo! So she's already started work on her pincushion, and the deadline to have a picture to me is October 1st, and then what we're going to do is October 4th, I believe, or 3rd, that weekend, we're going to show you the pictures and have you all vote on your favorite one, and that person will get a $10 gift certificate to their favorite online quilt shop. All right. Oh, good, Polly. Cheryl Hogan. Yay. You're never late, darling. This thing will be running later on YouTube, and life happens to get busy and often gets in the way, so we understand. All right. I'm trying to get a lot of things out of the way, because today I'm going to show you two forms of marbling. Now, I do want to put a caveat in. I haven't marbled fabrics for a couple of years, So if I'm a little awkward, please bear with me. But, so things like that, you tend to you get out of practice. Just like when I do paper piecing, and if I haven't paper pieced in a couple months, I make mistakes and have to learn again. Moving slow today. Oh, a grade school reunion picnic yesterday. That's wonderful, sweetheart. All right. So what I've got, I guess do you want me to just go ahead and start into the marbling? I think so. So I've got a whole bunch of stuff here. I've got tables, I've got water, supplies, I've got pans, shaving cream, I've got these trays, I've got batching containers. I think I'm ready. So it is good to Charlene Lawson's here too. Yay. All right. So I think we need to get busy with this marbling. I've got my fabrics, and I was lucky. I had the fabrics that had already been soaked with, you soak them with a soda ash, and if you can always get supplies for anything dyeing from Dharma Trading Company. But let's say you needed some soda ash and you didn't have time to wait, then you can get the pool pH up, and that will act as your soda ash. So just to show you that, and today I'm going to try something because I don't have specific marbling paints. And you can try all kinds of different things. You can use RIT dye. You could use your Procyon dyes. You can use food coloring, although they probably won't be color fast. Today, we're going to use these Dynaflow paints. And the reason I'm going to use them is they're very light. At some point, I'm going to try a little bit of acrylic white. But understand, if you use a paint that doesn't have a surface tension to it, that it's not the right consistency. If it's too heavy or if it's too easily dissolved by water, it will sink to the bottom and you can't use it. So this is what we're going to try today, and I think they're going to work. I tried just a touch this morning. I came down a few hours ago and I made some thickened water by using sodium alginate. You can also, some people use carrageenan. You'd have to buy a lot of it, but you could even use the plain Knox gelatin. Although with that, you'd have to, you have to follow the manufacturer's instructions. With this one, it didn't matter whether it was hot or cold water, boiling water, or anything. But some of them, you have to use boiling water or hot water. And some of them, you really have to use a blender to get them well mixed. I think I like the sodium alginate. You do have to wear masks and glasses when you're mixing it because you don't want to inhale that powder or get it into your eyes. I also have some surgical gloves handy that I might use when it comes time to do the shaving cream. I don't know. I'll see. I might use it sooner. All right, I've got towels and paper towels handy. And I'm even going to try the Lumiere, but that'll be last because they may be heavy enough that they sink. So first, I'm getting out my big stash of the Dynaflows. Okay, you can tell I love this Dynaflow product. I've got pipettes too, which are really helpful in putting dye. Like if you were to use RIT dye or anything where you had the dye in a cup, I would use pipettes. But since these are in the bottle, I'm going to try carefully to use the bottle to squirt them in the water. So here is this. I've got tons of paper towels. I also have some paper because I thought, there's always some residual dye. I can scoop up, and these are recycled papers, paper. I'm so cheap, you know me. If I don't need it anymore, I recycle it. So I used a mixer, a whisk, and I carefully whisk this in. It goes in very lumpy, and you think, how is that going to work? But it does, I promise. So I whisked this in this morning, and I think about 11 o'clock, I mixed it up. And it gets thicker as it stands. Now, I do have a little rubber scraper that I can, if I want to clean some of the dye off, I can. And I have a very coarse paintbrush so that I can dip it in some dye and then sprinkle little dots on. You know what? I just lost your chatting. Oh, how can I get it back? I hate that it's doing this. This is very frustrating. I am not going to be able to read what you ask me, and I apologize. I don't know why it's doing that. It is very, very frustrating. Very frustrating. Okay, I don't know what to do. Cancel. All right. Well, I am very, very sorry, but I don't want to stop doing this just because I can't figure out. Oh, you came back. Okay, somehow it moved and it came back. Thank goodness. Okay. Oh, thank you. It is right environmental, isn't it? Okay, great. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I enjoy this, so let's get busy. So now I took these aluminum pans, and I've got a thin layer because I'm not going to do that much today, and I don't want to waste the supplies because I have to order them in. So I'm going to bring the camera over as close as I can get it. I might even zoom in just a little. Let me move my fabric out of the way here. Move this over. I want you to be able to see everything I do. We put plastic on my ironing surface. Then we put the paper. I was going to try to use this folding table here, but I couldn't figure out how to get it close enough to the camera. And the one thing, hi, Patricia! And the one thing that I really want to do is to be able to make it feel like you are right here with us. So, all right. I'm just going to use this one right now. So let's put this in. All right. Now, the one thing to make sure to do is to shake your paints before you use them. Well, I'm going to go ahead and just dump them out right here. All right. Now, I'm going to this real nice bright one. I think I am going to put some of that in here so I can drop the dots on. I think that would look really cool. So, shake it really good. And then I'm going to squirt it in this little cup of this palette. All right. Now, let's see. I'm going to start with a deep, rich color, a turquoise. I'm going to come in here and just barely do a little dot and get close to the surface without touching. The reason is you don't want any excuse for this paint to sink to the bottom. And don't work too slowly because you always risk the paint sinking with time. Hopefully it'll stay on the surface until it's messed with, but you never know. One thing I do like about this paint is it's not moving a lot. That is good. Some of the dyes spread out so wide and thin that they're not very bright. So far, I'm very pleased. And we do know that this is color fast dye for fabric. So it should do well. I tell you what, I'm going to keep this company in business because I love their product. There's so much to do with it. I've used it for lots of things. Now, I do see that some of the dye is dipping through. So let me be quick. And that's why you also just use a little pinch, because you don't want to waste it at the bottom of the pan. But I don't know if you can see, but some of it has dipped down. The little drop went right through, which means it's not very water soluble. It stayed in a drop form. That's good. But just do little dots. Please don't squeeze out much. You're just wasting your paint. And this paint is so wonderful. I don't want to waste it. All right. Now, let's get some purple in there. And I'm just picking stuff up just to enjoy it. I do wish it didn't sink. That's where if you got special marbleized paint, it would prevent it from sinking so quickly. But that's more money to spend, and I've got this already here. And, all right. Whoops, let me put another one there. Pretty, kind of just keeping them pretty evenly spaced. Now, I think that's pretty good for now. What I'm going to do is very lightly start doing some marbling motions over the top of this dye. All right? Being careful, because you can see some of it definitely sunk to the bottom. All right. Now this one's going to be a light one. That's okay. They don't all have to be saturated and dark. And then I take this fabric, and I had to iron it. I had to iron it to make sure it was smooth so I could get it to lay down on the mixture. Lay it down there for just a moment. Then I carefully, look at this. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I want it to drip back into the pan because I don't want to use up any more of this than I have to. And in fact, hold on just a second. I don't want it to fold. It takes a few minutes for it to set in place. Let me see if I can lay it on here. I'm going to lay it on this pan vertically. Okay. And then I'm going to take and scrape the excess back in. Now, it does make dye go back in there. But since this Dynaflow doesn't spread easily, that's not such a bad thing. So there is our first one. All right, and I think I'm going to in fact, I might come in and kind of bring up some of that color. Mix it in. I don't want to make it muddy though, okay? Muddy is not a good thing. Now, let's come in here. This one's stretching out. Look at this. So this one's looser. I like that. When they spread out like that, you want them to spread out more than the first few drops did. Let's see. Now those are still staying put. And then what you can do is take a drop of this and put it in the center of these. So then when you do the marbling motion, it'll spread with it. All right, let me try some of the other colors and see which ones spread better. You're going to get a lot more color with this one. Ah, this one spreads good too. Yay. Because that will give us, if we put a few in that spread, and then look at that does. When you put this right in the center, then look at this. Isn't that cool? And there are some YouTube videos that are amazing. There are people out there who do works of art with marbling. So isn't that cool? I love it. All right, let me try some periwinkle. See, certain colors spread more easily than others. So that's interesting. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now, let me see. Maybe a little magenta for in the middle. I don't know if these are water-based or not. I think they are. So I probably could thin them. That might be something. Oh, this one's spreading beautifully. Okay. Oh, this is going to be cool. You never know what you're going to get. You can try to aim for a certain thing, but until you actually do it, you're not really sure. But this is going to be fun. Okay. Now I think I'm going to go back in with some more of that green. Let's see. I'm just kind of looking to see what's a good balance with this. But this is fun. So please don't feel like, oh, I've got to get this just right. If it doesn't look good, you can always use them. And, let's say the fabric it didn't come out exactly the way you want. Well, with ugly fabric, all you have to do is cut it up smaller. So it will be just fine. Now I'm going to try to do some of the yellow dots. So I dip my paintbrush in the dye over here, and then I just come along like this and just tap it, and little tiny dots of color will fall on the surface. Okay, you can't really see them. I can see where they are, but they don't really show up good. You can kind of see where things move. All right, then maybe I kind of want one more dark color. Let me try this one. And I don't want to wait too long, because the longer I wait, the more paint will sink. But I want plenty of contrast. All right, so now I've got this. Now, you could go with that as it is, or you can come in with a comb and you can give it a marbling. And then the one thing you do, please remember, when you marble, don't over marble, because if you over marble, then you're going to get a muddy color. Because remember, too many colors put together turn into brown, and brown's not really what you want. So you just slide this over, let it go down to the surface like this. It will pick up that dye very quickly. I'm going to, hold on just a second. I'm going to put the former I'm going to put the former dye into this. I'm going to let this batch up just a little. Just like any dyes, it likes to sit for a little bit. In fact, I'll take it outside when I'm done and let it sit out there. Okay, so now I can come over here, and I'm going to take some paper toweling and get some of the excess dye off of here. And ready, I'm going to lift this up. Don't let it fold up, but I'm going to let it drip, drip, drip. I think this one's really, really pretty. Oh, it does look like wings. Okay, now I'm going to hold this up here and get my squeegee. And just a little bit. Now, if you wanted pure colors, I wouldn't do this. And if you had all the carrageenan that you in the world, I wouldn't do it. Because you can see that some of the carrageenan that goes back in is just a little peachy color. Okay, so here is this. All right. But like I said, I'm not minding too much having the dye because it's helping fill in so it's not quite so stark. And if you want to do this and you think you would really enjoy doing it, then go to Dharma and Trading or one of the art supplies, Blick art supplies, and get the actual marbling for fabric. Make sure it's for the fabric. That's important. All right, I'm going to also get out some of these metallics and try those because that's the kind of people we are. All right, so let's see. I don't know how the metallics are going to do, but I like trying it. Oh, and you wait. Let's say you don't have the carrageenan, the thickener. Wait till you see what we're going to do in a few minutes. Anybody can do it. If you can get a hold of shaving cream, you can do it. Oh, the metallic is working up so far. Oh my gosh. It's spreading nicely too. Woohoo! Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see. I didn't know how the metallics would do. You just never know. But what's nice is to just be able to say, I want to do this and use something you already have around the house. Oh, let me get it some purple. Oh, and this one has a black in it. Oh, that'll be cool. That'll be cool. All right. Put some of this purple in the middle here. The purple's seeming a little heavy. We'll have to see what it does. The purple might end up sinking to the bottom. You never know. It's not wanting to spread as much as the others. All right, so I'm just doing a few drops. All right, I'm going to try some of this black. Let's see what this will do. Oh, this is pretty thick. I'm not sure. It's like a charcoal gray. I'm not sure this is going to do much. I'll just spread a little on here. And then let's get some of the bright gold and see what we come up with. This is a little, I think the metallics in these make them heavier. So okay, now let's try it. It's always worth a shot. And in fact, let me put some of these. I'm going to put some of the other color in it too, just to bump up the color. Let me bump. Oh, now I see some of it spreading. Okay, we'll see. And let me bump up the color just a wee bit. Okay. Now, and I took one of this is one of the hair picks, and I took out every other comb. Ooh, oh boy, I can't wait to see what this does. Woo, this is pretty. Okay, now let's get the fabric. I wish you could see. I wish, where is, oh well. I was going to turn on the overhead light, but I don't see the remote for it. Okay, here we go. Now what I'm hoping is this is going to be even prettier, because on the other side, you should be able to see the metallics. And what you do is you just make sure that every bit is in touch with the water. You don't want the fabric to sink in, but you do want to make sure it's in complete touch, every inch. Like if it's white, if it's still looking a little dry, give it a little push down. All right, I'm going to take this old one that was on this sheet, and you've just been seeing the opposite side. And this, I think I'm going to go ahead and put in the rinse water so that you'll be able to see what that looks like. I'm going to wipe the excess dye off the pan because I don't want to mess up this next work. Okay. That's why I have plenty of paper towels. Okay. Oh, okay. I do see a problem with the metallic paints. The only problem is they want to run off the surface. Okay. Oh my gosh, look at this end. That is beautiful. So the one problem I'm going to have right now when I do the scraping is I'm going to be scraping off some of the metallics. Yeah, look at that. The gold, the heavy metallics do not want to adhere. Okay, so the metallic paints, it's a great idea, but I'm going to have to, you will be able to find out next week on most of this exactly how successful it was. I think let me let this sit for a minute, because when it sits a few minutes, it's just to help set the color. Now, talking about setting the color, I might come in here now. Well, I was going to clean up the water, but that's the metallic floating. So, all right, let's go back to this pan. I'm using up some of that, but don't worry. I have another pan in fact, after this one, I'll switch pans. But I like now that these paints are doing so well, and I think that I'm wise to hold them up a little bit higher when I dump them in, because it helps to make them spread out. Okay. Thursday, yes, I can show you Thursday what these look. Some of them I can show you today, some of them, but I'll have them all batched, washed. So what you do is you're going to rinse them out really good, and then you're going to dry them. And I would dry them in between. Toweling that you don't care about, and then iron them, because I think the ironing just helps set that. Oh, yes. Oh, that's a good, you know what? Maybe I'll use, when I finish here, I think I'll go ahead and paint a background and for my And if you use ink tints, you can use these. You can use whatever you have around or just fabric that you want to collage. In fact, before I go today, Miss Polly, if you can try to help me remember, I have some images of what I'm thinking about for our next project. Okay, so drop these in here. And this is all an experiment, and I'm doing this while I'm talking, so I'm not even thinking about it. I'm just letting it happen, and that's okay. That's just fine with me. I'm going to come back and put some more blue in these. Yeah, I think dropping it from a couple inches higher helps them to fan out. Okay, I thought it was going to make them sink. And I think with the metallics, it would. But now, do you look, see those? I love that. I love that. So I'm going to come back in here with a little more pink in the middle of those spots. All right. Sometimes you can blow on them a little to get them to kind of open up a little. If they're not running good, take a color you know will spread and kind of force them. See how this yellow is a good spreading color, so it kind of forces the other colors to go ahead and spread. All right, and then, but I think this is fun, and this is just something you can do to play. And like Mark put plastic on my furniture. Then I took, how I told you I saved the brown paper that comes in shipping boxes and I press it out smooth. Well, I used the plastic. Then I put the brown paper that will help absorb anything. And I've got my paper towels, so I'm being careful. And I think it works pretty good. Now I'm going to come back in here. I do want to see that muddy color. That was where the gold metallic and the black metallic kind of did their thing. So, all right. So now, let's see. Whoops. I might have to put a little bit more color on this. I think it's mostly going to be yellow, and I want it to be a little brighter. So I'm going to put some more. You do have to use, pardon me, more of these colors because they are kind of delicate. They don't spread, and they're not very thick. All right. And then, you know what? What the heck? Let's put some of this orange that we know will spread and be dramatic. Well, I'm hoping it was going to spread. And then, where are my reds? Scarlet. Let's try a little bright red. Okay. It's supposed to be bright red, but it looks a little orangey to me. Okay, now I'm going to do one more. Oh, see, you've got to be careful because when you do too many passes, you lose the marbling. All right, let's just see what we've got. We might not like this one, and we'll switch pans and get some fresh carrageenan or fresh sodium alginate Yeah, this is going to be pretty, though. It's going to have a yellow background to it. All right. Now, what I'm doing right now, just so that I don't turn my back on you, is I'm going to rinse out this first one, or the second one. I think this is the second one we did. Okay. So here is the second one we did. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this in, let it batch up a little, because I want, well, let me move these around. The only thing I don't like is the water has the dyes in it. If I were doing this and I wasn't on camera, I would be changing this water a lot. I would go outside and dump this in the grass and then change the water. Yeah, I found out why you cannot use the metallics. Too much of them come off. All right, this was almost all metallics. And I want you to see how light it is, because almost all the metallics came off. So, you know what I'm going to do? This I'm going to use for, I'm going to do it again. Now, let me get this out. Whoops, pardon me. Turn your back here. All right, see, this is starting to get a little muddy looking. So we're going to take this. Oh, let me clean off my pan here. This is where it really helps to have a friend. So when I did a dye workshop for my old guild group that I ran, and it really helps to have several people there. So I'm going to lay this here and let it, oh, this is going to be interesting. There we go. All right, now I do see a couple problems. I didn't push this down into the Carginian well enough. Now, see how muddy this is looking? So now we're going to say done. And what I can do is wait and let all of that settle to the bottom. I don't have to say it's totally no good anymore. I can let it settle to the bottom, and then if I'm very careful, use it from the top. All right. Where are my paper towels? Oh, hold on a second. Let me grab my paper towels. I always start by lining things up nice and neat so that I look like I'm calm and collected. And then when I get working, it's like, all right. So, are you enjoying any of this? I hope you are. Now, here is my second pan of sodium alginate. And when you go to a supply store to look for it, just look for marbling thickener. What this is what we're doing right now is water marbling. And we're going to do some shaving cream marbling soon as we're finished with this. This has just a little bit of yellow on it because this morning I tested it and wanted to make sure before I started this that it was going to work. Here is the piece that I pulled out from the metallics where the metallics just didn't stick. So, let me see. This has the pretty colors of the other paint that I threw in look nice. So let me go back. Ooh, The one problem about this water thickener is it makes your hands kind of slimy. All right. And you know, most of these thickeners, carrageenan and stuff, are from seaweed. So they're natural product. Now, gelatin is from livestock hooves. So that's a whole different product. All right. Let's see. We're going to really jazz this up. Let's see what we can do. Nice, fresh batch. So you see, it's really important. Don't put all of your thickener in one pan. All right. Like, don't put all your eggs in one basket, because you really do need to come up with some fresh. Ooh, that purple is pretty and that yellow, isn't it? And remember, that's because they're complementary colors. Or as Kay Fassett would say, it doesn't matter, put what you like. He's not a fan of the color wheel, which I don't blame him. He has such a beautiful command of color. I'm not going to tell Kay Fassett how to do color. Okay, that was the best lecture. I tell you what, I hope you will look into taking classes virtually and lectures. And and when I said the other night, I was trying to think of what lecture, and it's Susan Brubaker Knapp, and she did a wonderful lecture. Okay, so now let me see. Let's do some more of the scarlet. This is an orangey looking scarlet, but okay. I kind of get impatient, so let me swirl some around there. And then I want some more of this wonderful magenta. That is a gorgeous. Oh, did you? Kay Fassett's fabrics are amazing. There's so much you can do with them. And they're perfect fabric for doing fussy cutting for blocks. They're just wonderful. All right, here we go. Let me see. Now I'm that. Yes, this is going to be light on the amount of color, but remember, I'm going to over dye a piece I already did. All right. So I put it, paint side down again. Oh, yay. So this is an over dye, because the other one, it was a failure with the metallic paints. You just make sure you get any air bubbles out, because you don't want anything, just kind of gently rub them. You just want to make sure that fabric is in contact with the dye. All right, I have another pan, so I'm going to put this on the next pan. And there that is. You have to really wash it out good, because I can see some of it ran off because the carrageenan was still enough on it that it didn't let it sink in. But I would definitely say that is better than what I had first. When I'm doing these kind of dyeing projects, I have found that if I try to be too timid, then it's less than satisfactory. If I'm too timid, then I'm usually disappointed with the results. So I would suggest you go a little bold until you get a feel for it. But I know if I under dye one of these fabrics, I'll never use it. So right. Let's go back for that bright orange. All right. Now, I think let's go for some good green. And the one thing, when you go to get a set of paints, look for a wide variety of colors. When I say wide variety, I would get primary, secondary, plus brown, black, white if you can get it. In fact, let me try really quickly. The white, when you add the white, it's amazing. So let me do something really fast. Let me put some more blue here. The darker the color, the more dramatic it looks. You've got to have high contrast to make it really wow you. Okay, let me do something real fast because I don't want to lose that. I decided, here it is. I decided to try a little bit of white, and the only white that I had that I thought would work was acrylic. So I'm going to put some acrylic in the pan, and then I'm going to add some water to it. Then I'm going to take this pipette and stir it. Whoops. Stir it, and then I'm going to see what I can get done, how this will work. And you know me, I love to experiment because that's the way you learn and discover. If we take the safe road, we might miss something really fascinating. All right. So now I'm going to do a quick, that white is dramatic. Yay. Yay. Okay. Now I'm going to put this in. Whoops. Okay. I didn't do a good job of placing it, but that's okay. As long as I don't want to waste any. I'm so excited about this one. So let me get the pan. Let me get the pan over here batched. All right. Put it right in here. And like I said, I'm going to put these on the driveway where it's nice and warm. Let me clean off this tray so we don't muddy the next piece of. I just got a little bit on my shirt. So make sure you use something that it's okay if you get a little. I need to make myself an apron. I tell you, I am so messy. I need an apron. Okay. So I'll have some pretty dots on this shirt. Luckily, it's one of my older shirts, and it has so much color on it anyway. All right. So now let me take this out of the water. I can't really see the white. I think when it dries, I'll notice the white more. It looked really pretty in the dye, I know that. Okay. So that's pretty interesting. Yeah, I do see the white, because otherwise that would be like that. So, all right, let that sit for a bit. This time I'm going to be smart, and I'm going to batch. I'm going to go ahead and batch this one so the pan will be ready. You know what? That's the one I double did. I really like that. I really, really like that. Now, this is marbling, so you don't have to marble it. You could just use dots. Let's try one where we don't mix it. We just use the design. All right, let me clean this off. All these pretty rainbow colors. Okay, let me get another paper towel. All right. Okay, this is going to be our last one, and then we're going to move to shaving cream. Peacock feathers, wouldn't that be great? All right, so I'm going to come back with the white. This time I'm going to do a more random design since I'm not going to comb it. I can always pull some of the shapes, and you do that by taking a chopstick or skewer. Let me clean off my comb because I don't need that right now. All right, keep your paper towels ready. You need them. All right, so let's just go play, okay? Now, I'm going to try to be random, not be so specific with this one. Remember, the purple's a heavy color. And I'm going to kind of flood this pan with paint. I want lots of color on this. What would he do without color? I was telling the Thursday night group that they told us to ask questions of Kaif. And so I asked the question that you never ask parents, and that is, what is your favorite color? And he said, and I knew I was opening myself up for that. But as much as I love color, blue is my favorite color. It just is. It just absolutely is. And so he said, having a favorite color is equivalent to having a favorite breath of air. How do you have a favorite? And I said, okay, fair answer. Very fair. These little bottles, this is called an exciter kit. And I got to tell you, I love it because they last a good long time, and it gives you so much to work with. Instead of just being able to buy a couple little bottles, you can get 9 of these, and then you can really have fun. All right. Uh-oh. This bottle must have a leak. I better be careful. Oh, hope you won't mind if my hands are blue. Okay. Now I'm going to come back and pop some more white on here. I think I'm going to stir it a little. Let me just see what this will do. Instead of doing a whole marble, I think I'll just do a little pulling. Yeah, I think that's good. And then I'm going to come back with magenta. My favorites are the magenta and the turquoise. See, the one problem is I tend to, I'm going to come back with periwinkle. I tend to wait too long, and this does pull to the bottom. So that's frustrating. But if you get real marble paints, I think it'll work wonderfully. Okay. Now, here we go. I'm going to give it a try. What do you think? Oh, that's cool. Look at this. And see, that's the neatest thing is you just never know what it's going to come out like. Isn't that cool? Whoop. Some of the color came up through. All right. Let it sit and absorb. This is the last one. Okay. That is very interesting. I'm wondering, once this is washed, what's that going to look like? Very interesting. Okay, so now, real quick, I'm just curious what will come off onto paper. Oh, look at this. Ha! This is fun. Look at that. That is really, really neat. Okay, let me go get this over here. So, when we're all done here, I've got a stack of paper, and I'm going to then take and do some fancy paper. All right, there. Let me get this out of the way. I'll be right back, guys. I'm just dumping this out of the pan so that we can then, let me get my scraper. So I want to do some shaving cream dyeing for you. All right. Then I'm going to clean this up real good. Not real good, but decently. Pardon me just a second. I dropped a couple drips. Let me get it up off the floor. All right. Let me get it up a little better. All right, that's good enough. That will do it. All right. Now, so I hope you're enjoying it. This is what I love doing when I take my crafting summers and just have fun. Now I just take and put shaving cream. Make sure you keep it well shaken. Smells nice. Let me shake it some more. Okay, that's it for that can. Then I'm going to take and I'm going to smooth this down. You want to smooth it because when you put the dye on, you want the fabric to easily touch all the surfaces. If it's too lumpy, you're going to get lumpy color. Okay? Then you take and just scrape it back into the container. Now, if you're going to do shaving cream dyeing, you're going to want to buy inexpensive shaving cream, just regular old shaving cream. You don't want any additives, no special moisturizing or anything, just shaving cream. And I would get several cans, and they're pretty cheap if I remember right. All right. So now, let me do something really quick while this is just going to sit here. Yes, in fact, I don't know when, but I will do some ice dyeing. I have a video where I had done some of that. But what I need to do really quickly is let me batch these. I really like this one. I need to be able to have this space. So let me get this. Whoops. Okay. And let me wipe this off. I mean, you could leave these dirty if you don't mind the underneath of the fabric absorbing it. I just don't want to take a chance on it turning muddy, All right, so there's that tray. Now, let me get this. This is really neat. Looks like fall. Okay, get that in a container. And then clean this up. We're getting quite a bit of fabric done. This is great. Okay. I'm glad Mark got me a new thing of paper towels because I am using them. All right, so now I have 2 trays ready to go. All right, here we go. Let me grab some more paper towels. And I'm not going to put the gloves on. I should have checked to see. Non-toxic. Okay. So I'm not hurting myself. It might take a little while for some of it to come off, but that's all right. So, but always check your supplies. I should have checked that first to see, was that non-toxic? All right, so now I've got my shaving cream right here. Now I'm do the same thing that I did with thickened water. And let's say you were going to do dyeing. You have to make sure that all my fabric has been pre-soaked with alum or soda ash so that these will stick to them. And so you get your fabric, and then the colors show up better if the fabric is dry when you're doing marbling. So you can do it either way, but I put them through the dryer and then iron them. Okay, so I'm just dropping this on. This is going to be strict marbling. So putting this on. Now with these, you don't have to worry about it sinking. You don't have to be so fast in working, so you can take more time because it's just going to sit on the top of the fabric. That one's got a hole in it too. So now my hand's going to be blue and purple. Well, that's colorful. I look like Nadine's hand when she does her stamping. I could say that I get into this body and soul, don't I? All right. So now I'm going to do some turquoise. And I'm going to do plenty because I want the fabric really covered. Now you're going to have to enjoy the back side of the fabric because this you can't see as well because the shaving cream is going to kind of cover the front pretty good. So enjoy what you think it's going to look like from the back because it'll be Thursday or next week before you'll be able to see it. Okay, now I'm going to all right, did a little bit of white. Now I'm going to come back in with my comb. And I'm going to kind of do this kind of swirl. You can enjoy practicing all kinds of swirls with this. All right. Here it is. It does look like confetti. It looks like frosting, yes. Oh, but don't make the mistake of eating it. Actually, if you were here, you wouldn't even think of eating it because the smell is of shaving cream. All right, so here we go. And you see how I just, whoops, make sure there's not a thread. If this thread were to stay on this side of the fabric, it would interfere with the dye absorption. You'd end up with a thread mark. All right, so now you see how I just slide it over so that once it hits it, it stays still for an instant. You know, you're not swishing it around. Oh, look at this. So now you can see why a lot of people really like the shaving cream dyeing. The only thing is it goes through a lot of product because you'll see when I pick this up, you can't tell what it really looks like. So I'll come put it on the pan over here, and since this is the only can of shaving cream I have left, I'm going to come back over with this squeegee, and I'm going to scrape it off because I want to keep doing it. Now, yes, you'll end up getting mixed colors in your shaving cream, but that's okay. I like whatever comes out. So just remember, use a like if you don't have prepared for dyeing fabric, then wash your fabric several times because you need to get any sizing and stuff out of it. So, see that? And then here, look at that. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. Isn't that amazing? So just remember, it's harder to see the colors on the front. You have to look at the back to see what you're going to get. But I'm going to take this, put it in the container to batch it. And what batching means is let it sit and rest while, and especially in a warm place, so that the colors will set. And then, like I said, once we rinse it real good, then we're going to iron it. And that's called heat setting. And then it should be color fast. But, you know, feel free to be careful. Feel free to be careful and put a color catcher in there with it when you first wash it or wash it by hand. Just to make sure. I don't want anybody to put it in with their antique white gown and have it messed up. All right. So this, as you can see now, you're going to get different colors. And I could kind of, actually what I could do is do this and pull up a fresh side. But eventually you've got to understand that it's going to get messy and discolored. And that's where it helps if you have, 6 or 8 cans of this stuff and just go through it. Okay. And you just try to smooth it a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect, but just do the best you can. All righty. Plan to be messy. This is a lot messier than the Carrageenan, but it's fun still. All right. And buy stock in paper towel companies. Yes, you can. You can do what they call a ghost print by putting another, thank you, Linda, that's perfect. Put a piece of paper, put another piece of fabric, and do a ghost print. And the reason they call it ghost print is because the colors won't be quite as pronounced, but it'll still be very pretty. And when you do it, you can try by only putting colors in certain places or only using certain colors. Make it your own. And right now, I'm just trying to keep it moving along to show you. Okay. But use the colors you want and make it look the way you want it to look. Let me see. I think I'll come in here with some light yellow. But you probably are watching me do this going, no, don't use that color, use this color. And that's the thing is, it's so much fun when you can do it yourself and pick exactly what you want. All right. And the nice thing about shaving cream is you can comb it a little bit more than you can the Carrageenan or the sodium alginate because it's stiffer. It holds the color as you put it. Okay? I think I might do a little surprise and just do some dots. Because one of them had dots on it, and I kind of like the dots. So here we go. Put some dots right on here. All right. Now, is there something else I would like to add? I think a little more dark blue. Maybe I'll do some dots of dark blue. All right. Now, I wonder, I don't know if this works or not, but it's kind of fun to think about doing something just a little different. Okay. All right. Now, I'm going to lay this in here. And you notice once it hits the dies, I don't move. I don't move it. All I do is just make sure all of the fabric is in contact. If it doesn't make firm contact, you don't shove it in. You just gently tap, tap, tap. But if it's not in firm contact, it cannot absorb the dye. So I think that's pretty cool looking. And I like the bright dots. So this is what's fun about doing it different ways. Little different techniques. All right. It's sticking. All right. So let me get my squeegee here. And what's always amazing is to see how little time it takes for the dyes to sink into the fabric. All right, let me get a container for this one. Oh, here we go. Look at this. Now you do notice you get a little hints of brown when the blue, green, and yellow start mixing. All right. Put back over here. Now let me spread this back out. What I'm going to do this time to make it different, what did I do with my squeegee? Did some, oh, it's in the pan. Huh. What I'm going to do this time is, oh, well, let me first show you what Miss Linda said. She talked about doing another, like a ghost print. So, and you know what I'm going to do just to kind of brighten this up just a little bit is to sprinkle a couple little more dots. And let's see. All right, you ready? Now, let me all right, so then I take this piece of cardstock paper and I push it down. And I did add a couple dots more of color, but it's to show you what she means about doing what they call ghost printing. And whoops, I didn't quite get this one in firm contact. And what I'm going to have to do with this one, so that you can tell, and hopefully I got it in firmer contact. I'm not used to the paper. It's hard to get a feel. Whoops. Uh-oh. Hold on. Let me get my flat. This is why we use these pans. Oh, my. Anywhere it touches. Look at this. Anywhere it touches, it leaves color. Isn't that cool? Okay, so now watch this. Look at this. Now, some of you who like to write journals, think about making your journal paper. Isn't that cool? So, I love that. And let me do something really quick. I don't want that to dry, the shaving cream to dry on the paper. So I'm going to carefully rinse it, lay it out here to dry. There. I put it on the table back there to dry. Okay. Now, let me get all of this off. Right. I want you to give me ideas on what you want this next one to be. Okay? So give me some ideas while I'm cleaning this up. Give me some ideas about what colors or how much to... Okay, here we go. Let's... I kind of like the underlying color coming through too. That was really neat. Okay. Be ready to make a mess with the shaving cream, I gotta tell you. Okay. All right. Oh, there. Okay, now that's a good point. Will the metallic stay on this time? Let's do that. Good question. All right. So we'll try the metallics. Yes. Oh, gift tags, bookmarks. You're right. You are right. Oh, Linda, thank you. Please, y'all. I love it when y'all give hints and advice because our collective wisdom is unbelievable. So please do let me know what things you do that you really like. Now I'm only going to put a little bit of this black. I'm worried that might turn a little muddy, so I'm going to be careful with that. And oh, let's try a green metallic. And it doesn't hurt to try. The worst that can happen is it won't work. How would you... Oh, I don't know how to make it look like bamboo. Wouldn't that be cool? Okay. Oh, this is a pretty one. Okay. And lastly, a bright pink to jazz it up. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and use the comb because it's the same basic underneath color. It's funny, it's not mixing as well. You see that? I bet you it'd be great for paper. But the one thing that I'm noticing is it's staying still. Tell you what we'll do. Let's do like we did before. Let's put some of the spreading color. All right. Let's put some bright yellow to tone it, to bring it up. And maybe a little bright green. I love how the brighter colors just give it, make it shine. All right. Here we go. We'll lay it in, let it fall in. Oh, I think it's going to be beautiful. Oh boy, I'm really hoping it sticks because it is beautiful. Oh, do you see this? Look at this. I think it's looking a little bit like bamboo, Edwinese. Or Edie, I think that's what you call it. All right. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to carefully carefully put this here. Now, I don't know if the metallics will stay. Let's see. But then I will scrape the excess off. It looks like it's staying better than in the water, guys. Now, I'm going to do something different this time. Hold on one moment. I'm going to take this scrap paper and I'm going to lay it on here and rub it down and see if I can get any excess to come off onto the paper. It does. It does a little bit. I'll do it again in there. So there is this one. Here is the paper that I did last time. And here is the first piece of paper that I did. So that is fun. I'll be right back. Oh, I tried to rinse the carrageenan off the paper and it fell apart. Oh, well, I tried. Okay. So paper is a little tricky. All right. Now let me clean up some of this. This is a mess. All right. Let me clean up my hands. If you liked finger painting as a child, you will like this. All right. So put this color back in. It's getting messy trying to spread it. I'll just try to push it down. What I want to do, let me get some more paper towels. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping. Now, let me do something. Let me spread it this way a little bit. Oh, that looks really pretty. I'm going to try one thing real quick and then be thinking about what you want me to do. Be thinking about what you want me to be doing for the next one, okay? All right, let me put in some of my favorite blue. I'm going to do a paper marble from what's left in the pan that I've jazzed up just a touch, okay? All right, let's try this. Here we go. Yeah, thanks, Linda. I was trying to figure out what you meant, and I said, I think she means just put it on the scraped fabric. So that's neat. This is what's fun. My first time doing this, but other of you might have done it yourself. Whoops, papers. I think doing it on cardstock is a little better than just regular cheap paper. Cheap paper doesn't want to hold together good. But let's see what I've got. I've got here, it's on the paper. Let me squeegee it off. Ooh, that's going to be very pretty. When I scrape it, where I really scrape it, it looks very pretty. So this would be a nice, doing some of this on paper. I want to do a firmer paper, but this would be a very nice way to enhance journals. All right, I've got one more piece of fabricer. But I've got one more piece of fabric, so let's give it a good shot. Oh, I'm lightening it up by digging to the bottom. What do you, signature piece, huh? I feel like a kid playing in a sandbox. A signature piece. Okay, let me see what I can. Oh, this is fun. You should smell this room. It smells very clean and clean shaven. Okay, I'm going to go grab something real quick. If been thinking about what to do, I'll be right back. All right, I've decided that I want to try to thin some black acrylic paint and do something a little more moody. So I need to get another pipette. Let me find. There it is. I got a clean pipette, and I'll mix up this black to make it a little thinner. Although I don't even think I really need to do too much of that. Since it sits on the shaving cream, I don't think I need to thin it as much. All right. Let me see. All right, here I go. Let's see. What can I... I love experimenting. It is. It takes you back to the time when you were a kid, and to have construction paper, scissors, and glue meant you could conquer the world. So it's nice to get back to that innocence, because that's where creativity originates from. It originates from that time when you were young and fearless. You could do anything. I love jewel tones, so let's see how I end up doing with jewel tones. Yes, mad scientist. Isn't that fun? This is the part about playing. Sometimes when we grow up, we forget to play. There is the sweetest lady that I watch, and she's from Georgia, and she does crafts, and she always just gives it a try. And, oh, she is just amazing. She's in her 80s, and she loves playing, and you know what? The stuff she comes up with is wonderful. So never forget that childlike innocence, that childlike who never questioned. They just jumped in with both feet, because that's a wonderful way to live your life. A wonderful way to live your life. And you know what? We only go around once, so might as well enjoy it. All right, here we go. Let's see. I was thinking that the black might make it a little bit more dramatic. I'm not sure. I don't know. I might have gotten too many little droplets, but let's see. What I do like about the shaving cream, I like how it stays where you put it. Okay, since I've got little black droplets in here, then I'm going to come in with some little pink. Bring that up. Let me think. All right. Let's see. All right. I don't know what this is going to look like, but let's give it a shot. Wouldn't that be fun? You know what? I just want to add yellow to it. I'm sorry. I hope I'm not, I might be over gilding this lily, but it just felt like it needed a little touch of something else. And then oh, this is kind of neat. I'm making little leaves on it. You see, you might regret saying do a signature thing. All right, because I'm finding by using the bristles of the brush, I can pull leaf shapes. Okay, we'll leave it like that and see what we've got. I might have overdone it, but you just never know. All right. Lay this gently down. Smudge it. Whoops, don't move it. Just smudge it down. Oh my gosh, wait till you see this. It's so funny because you can't tell just by what's on the shaving cream what it looks like. Oh my goodness. And I want to leave it here long enough for it to really gather up as much color as possible. Okay, I'll let you. It's got all kinds of cool shapes and swirls. So I think it might be pretty cool. You never know. So next week, I will show you how all this came out. And you know what I'm going to do before I even scrape this? I'm going to before I even scrape this, I'm going to put a piece of paper on this. Oh, look, this is working really well because you just rub and you can see it picking up that color. Let me see. I've got one more container to batch something in. So there, that one goes in. And now the paper can come off of here. Pretty, pretty, pretty. So now I'm going to let this sit. And oh man, this is gorgeous. And it's got a lot of dramatic color and motion. So I can't wait to get that washed. All right. And then, whoops. All right. I'm going to take the paper and put it on this and just gently push it down to let it pick up every bit of dye it can. And where the dye missed it, just pick it up with your finger and go rub it there. So I'm going to save this, and when we say goodbye, I'm going to do some more paper images because that is so pretty. All right, ladies, let me just get this out of the way, and then we're going to go look at what you've been working on. When we're done, let me show you one more time. When we're done, I will then clean these off and see what we have. All right. So now the good thing I can do, I want to get this stuff out of my way because I have a feeling I would make a mess. And all right. It was fun. Oh, okay. Cardstock, yes. I think cardstock will work much better, or a nice thick paper, preferably the kind of paper that has fibers in it. That would be wonderful because it would be so nice and strong. So, okay, that was fun. I never want to smell shaving cream again, though. Whoops, did I knock something over? Let us now. Mark came back early from his bike riding, so I have a feeling it's starting to rain. Let's go look at what you've been doing. Because let me tell you, I get such inspiration from you. All right. It's so good seeing you here, Linda Ramos. We really, really appreciate it. And Linda Ramos, send me an email at ourtimetoquilt@twc.com. What's rained? I know. It's some areas. It's been feast or famine this year. Let me get my mouse to work. Come on, mouse. Okay, here we go. Let's go see what we have for you. There we go. All right. We'll start out with Miss Betty again. We'll enjoy one last time her amazing heron quilt, and I just love how it started light and like a watercolor painting. It just got more and more intense all the way down, and even with the little ripples of water around its legs. Isn't that great? Way to go, Miss Betty. It is beautiful. And then her beach scene where she puts real shells and approximate shells with fabric, and look at her stitches that look like seagrass. And look at this. You can see the DMC floss acting as the fence material. I love the loose edge, the gathered fabric, and the cheesecloth to give the illusion. And even some couched fluffy yarn to give the illusion of waves. So way to go, Miss Betty. Way to go. Love it. Okay, let's see who's next. Okay, you got to see what Charlene Lawson, is doing the Ricky Timms kaleidoscope with me. Are you ready? Let's see. Here it is. She has got it all laid out, ready to be pieced. I knew it was going to be exciting. That lime green just really sparkles. Sparkles? Sparkles. I love it, Charlene. That's wonderful. Can't wait to see what you do with the border. All right. Now, Charlene Fisher sent in some lovely quilts that she has been working on. I love that purple. Really stands out. Look at this one. That is wonderful. The magenta and purple. Boy, I did a lot of magenta today. Whoops, I'm sorry. My finger got a little heavy there. I love this landscape with the fire on the dock down by the water and the snow and the bird. That is lovely. Lovely, lovely. Okay, let's see. I think I have one more. Yes, I love it. It's not too early to be thinking about Christmas. I have a dear friend, Jan, who loves to remind me of how many days there are to Christmas. So it's not too early. And look at that jolly Santa peeking through the window. I love it. Don't things like that make you happy? That's where being in touch with your inner child is the best therapy in the world. Let me see. I'm trying to think if I have much. I don't think so. I don't think I really have anything new this week. I was looking. Shoot, I forgot to go check fabrics. But I do want to tell you that my grandson, my newest one that I finally got to meet in May, he's going to be 1 year old in 2 days. Happy birthday, my sweet little Donnie. And I want to also send out a happy birthday wish tomorrow for our Nikki, our very favorite Nikki. Happy birthday, Nikki, hon. So now, let's see where, oh, yes. I heard from Dolores today. She has been so busy. She had an art fair that she participated in and she sold out. So when it came time for her next art fair, she had to make all new products. So she has been very busy. But look at this wonderful. Isn't that terrific? And I like it because it's simple but poignant. I mean, there are things to really enjoy, but it doesn't overwhelm your eye. I love that. And look at this one by the lake. Isn't that wonderful? Beautiful work. So Dolores is busy with church on Sundays right now. She's having to drive to one of their events, an hour each way. So she just wanted to let us know she's still out there and she'll be back as soon as she can. But I love her work and I love the dragonfly down at the corner of this. Isn't that wonderful? So she's very talented and definitely a professional artist. So thank you for sending those photos, Dolores. We loved it. Now, oh, I forgot to show that. Oh, yes, I think I did show this last week. But just look at this king-size churn dash that Jody does in her spare time. Besides making all of the amazing signature haunted vintage movie characters like this, so wonderful. And my second favorite, which is the creature from the Black Lagoon. And just so, in case you forgot, my all-time favorite is Frankie. He exudes such emotion that you just can't help but love him. You want to go give him a hug and tell him that you'll take care of him. He'll be all right. And I love that. So, but I just wanted to show she's a traditional quilter as well as being an art quilter. And then our wonderful Miss Linda, look at McCullum. Look at her beautiful artwork. And I love the shape. I love that this fabric, look how she used it to represent the bird, most like the cardinal, because it's got a little point on its head, or it could be a titmouse. But look at this, how she, organic stick wrapped with scraps. And she puts together the best compositions. That is just amazing. And look at her stitches. Do you call that like sashiko or something like that, or big stitches? I love it. And a bird and different kinds of threads wrapped this time. Way to go. Look at her boho beads. Aren't they amazing? I love those. Gorgeous beads. Then look at these birds she's made from scraps, all different kinds of scraps of fabric. Aren't they wonderful? So creative. And her wonderful felted mice. I love them. That one is my favorite. That is so cute. And then what looks like a kind of bottle cap thing. I wonder if they have a pin back on them or what, but they're wonderful. And I can see making them for all different holidays. It's just beautiful. So, okay, thank you, Miss Linda. We love seeing your work. And then since Miss Lisa is here today, I'll make sure to show her work one more time because it's lovely and it's fun to be able to share it with her right here. And look at this one. I love it. I love the creativity of wrapping the stick with the lace. Really nice. Ties it all together. Great job. Don't forget, send me your photos because I do love showing them. This will be our final showing of Miss Mary's beautiful garden. Love it, love it, love it. And This is a purple leaf plum she's got here, and these look like rose bushes. Let's see, what else? Oh, the biggest potted fern you have ever seen. I mean, that is one healthy fern. I'm sure she keeps that from year to year. And the last, a wonderful Natchez white crepe myrtle. Isn't that gorgeous? Great job. All right. Let's see who else. Miss Melanie. Oh, I am so tickled that she's coming down the home stretch of her binding tool star quilt. Isn't that just beautiful? I love those soft colors. That's going to make a wonderful quilt to snuggle under. Isn't that nice? And one thing I love about this pattern is plenty of spaces left to do some beautiful quilting. All right, let's see what else. Okay, Miss Nadine. Oh, Miss Nadine, what an artist. She has so many talents. There are some very talented artists from Germany, and Miss Nadine is one of them. Okay. I was thinking of Claudia Field. There are several that are just so talented. And there's something in their water, I think. Look at this. Isn't that just exquisite? Once Upon a Dream. You know, that must be it. Germany, the place of cottages and castles and the Black Forest, and it's magical. So, of course, magical people come from there. All right, let's see who's next. And, oh no, I think Patricia Fry, I forgot to get the photo. Her grandniece was born, and it's the cutest baby, eyes wide open, ready to take on the world. And here is the final visit with Miss Patricia from Nova Scotia, her wonderful creative sewing room. A lot of wonderful things can be made in a wonderful space like that. So way to go. Thank you for sharing. If any of you would like to share your special sewing and creating space, we'd love to see it. And this, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see Miss Polly's. Her Misty Woodland is coming along beautifully. I love it. And she's really finding her own voice. I love it. And that's what it's about. Because until we do something like this, we don't really know what we have to say. And when we get out here and do this, here is the Arkansas Crossroad by Miss Sherry. Love Miss Sherry Dietz. So let's see what else. But I'm going to need some new pictures because I think I've about run through everything so far. I just got so tickled seeing this on Susan's email. That is just so cute. And then she's been doing the dreaded the English paper piecing hexies, and she is doing a gorgeous job of them. I mean, gorgeous. That's the one thing I said I would never do. Now, I also said I would never do applique, or I would never do hand sewing, and I was proven wrong. But I think so far I'm staying steady with this. That looks like so much work for me. And you know, I have no attention span, but I applaud her heartily for her beautiful English paper piecing. Way to go, Miss Susan. All right, let's see. The last one here, Miss Teresa Louise, I love to quilt too. Look at this beautiful dog collage she is working on. That is gorgeous. Just gorgeous. A way to go. You're doing an outstanding job. All right. I think, I do want to show you one more thing. In fact, I think I had said, Polly remind me, and she probably has been, and I didn't see it. But I have been, now where did I put it? We're going to work on, hold on. Let me see if I put it under my name. But we've got new project we're going to work on Thursday. And then I'm going to take a little bit of a break just to regenerate here. Oh, I don't see it. Okay, let me do a little search. You give me just a moment. Okay, and I think it was going to be a Stark. Well, let me see. No, let me see. No. I started a new folder for, oh, let me see. I will find it. Give me just a second, please. I promise I'll find it. And let me see. Now, I know I had that. Oh, bummer. I was going to show you a couple things of our next live stream ideas. No, I don't see it again. All right. Well, I'm very disappointed in myself, but because now I have forgotten where I put it. But we're going to have a new project, and I had it somewhere. I will find it. But we're going to start a brand new project, and this one's going to be simple, simple, simple. I don't want you to overthink this one. This is going to be for our Thursday night, because I'm hoping that this Thursday night I can wrap up the Misty Woodlands quilt. Now, what I started is I started gathering great ideas. Thursday night's going to be a stark landscape, and I want it to only have 3 components, and that is an object like a tree or lighthouse, a sky, and the ground beneath it. And I want it to have a live edge, and it's hard to have a live edge on the top. I'm using the term live edge from furniture making, but I want it to follow something in your composition. So Thursday night, I will be sharing with you, and I'll try to put something on the website, our website too, so that you can see some of the inspirations. But I want it to be simple and easy and straightforward, but dramatic, something that makes you go, wow. Okay, so be prepared Thursday, and I'll find that. Let me come back to you, get off all the pictures. And I'm sorry I have run long tonight, but dyeing is so much fun. Fabric dyeing, that is. So, anybody, any questions? So, I will definitely, I like to go back and check it. Thank you for the people who gave me wonderful suggestions for my Misty Woodlands quilt, which I'm really starting to like now. Remember I told you it goes through an ugly stage, and then all of a sudden it comes out of that stage and it blossoms. And I think mine is starting to blossom. So send me pictures of what you're working on. I would love to see it. Send me pictures of your studio space. Let me type one more time. Thank you, Miss Linda, for acting as our moderator. Our time to quilt at twc.com. Don't forget, next Saturday is another sit and stitch. So if you're a member of our group SIO, our time to quilt group, you will get an invitation. And the nicest thing is we all talk. It's a Zoom type style meeting where we can just sit and chat with each other while we're sewing. All right. Anything else? I just talked about the pin cushions. Oh, that's right. I was supposed to show you some more. I've run over, so next week I'll show you some more. Give you more inspiration ideas of pin cushions. Okay? Well, thank you. And there, I just put the email down because Linda and Melissa, I would like to hear from you. You have been hooked on, so Cheryl has been hooked on English paper piecing since June. I've heard once you do it, you are hooked, and you keep a little baggie so when you go to doctor's appointments or whatever, ride in the car, you can have a project to work on, which is a good thing. It's a very good thing. Take care. Have a great week. If you are not vaccinated, get your behind out there and get your vaccination. There's no excuse. People are dying. Children are dying. It's ridiculous. I'm not patient anymore. Get vaccinated or stay home. There we go. I'm sorry, but I'm getting tired of all of these people getting sick. And if your governors won't tell you, I'll tell you. Get your butt out there and get vaccinated. All right. I love you to bits. I'm only caring to keep you safe and healthy. Take good care, everyone. You are the best. Do something special just for you. I've got a hammock calling my name. It's been a tough enough week. I deserve the hammock. And you know what? The dust bunnies can just sit where they are because I'm going to be in my hammock. Take good care of yourself. See you next week. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you. Y'all are the best. Thank you, guys. Take good care.